Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all the students. I hope you all are staying healthy and safe. Today we are going to learn about the new chapter which is houses we make. So in order to understand that, we will be discussing some topics from the chapter, which is the first one, general concept. And after that, we will discuss the various types of houses, which comprises of Kacha house, Pakka house, temporary house, and special house. Let's start with the general concept. Long ago, early men used to live in caves and on trees. As time passed, they learned to make houses and started living in them. Houses protect us from different things like rain, storm, snow, wild animals, etc. Houses we live in are different from one another everywhere. So if we talk about the ancient time, if we talk about 100,000 years before, at that time man did not know what a house is. He did not know how to build a house. So what he used to do was he used to live in caves, or he used to live under the trees or on the trees. Those caves were made of leaves or grass. But with time, as time passed by, he learned how to build a house. He started living in them. Once he started building houses and living in them, he got to know the importance of having a house. He got to know that how houses protect us from the factors like rain, storm, snow, wild animals, etc. So it was only when he started living in houses he actually got to know its importance. Now, if we talk about the present time, in the present time, we can see about hundreds and thousands of houses around us. And if we talk about the whole world, there are like millions of houses all around the world. But there is this one thing with the houses, that they are different from one another. They do not look alike. They do not look similar. They are made according to the need, according to the location or the place. And that's what exactly we are going to talk about. Types of houses. The first one is Kacha house, which is made of leaves, mud, grass, straw, bamboo. These are not strong and can be destroyed by heavy rain, snow, or storm. So, a kacha house is that house which is made of these things: leaves, mud, grass, which is easily available. But there is this thing with kacha houses, that they can get destroyed by rain, storm, or snow. Well, the reason for that is the material that we use to build a kacha house. And what are we actually using? We were using leaves, mud, grass, straw. So all these materials are not strong enough to make a strong house, which can withstand high rainfall, heavy snowfall, or heavy rainfall. So for that reasons, kacha house is not very strong house. Now the question arises that who lives in those kacha houses? The kacha house is built by the people who are very poor, who cannot afford to bring the material which is strong enough to build a strong house. So a kacha house is built by a poor person. You can see in the picture this house is made of mud and grass. Now next one is the Pakka house, which is made of steel, bricks, cement, etc. They are strong and can't be easily destroyed by rain, storm, or snow. So a Pakka house is that house which is made of the material like steel, like brick, like cement. And all these materials are strong enough and they cannot get destroyed by heavy rainfall or snowfall or even storm. So they make a strong house, and that house we call as Pakka house. They are mostly built in towns and cities. A Pakka house is mostly built at the places like towns and sti. But if we talk about the present time, we can also build a Pakka house in villages. Then there are the forms of Pakka houses. Here are the pictures. The first one is a picture of a bungalow and second one is of the skyscraper. Bungalow and skyscraper, they both are Pakka house. That is, the material like steel, like brick, like cement, which was used to build a bungalow, the same material was used to build this skyscraper. So they both are a Pakka house. But the difference between the two is that this bungalow, you can see in the picture, it hardly is one or two storied. And this is something we can see we can see in the town, or we can see even in the village. Talking about skyscraper, you can see it's not one or two storied, but it is multi-storied. It has many stories. It has like 50 or 60. A skyscraper can have like 50 or 60 stories. So it's a multi-storied building. And this building is something we cannot see in a village or a town. This is something we can usually see in a city. So these both are Pakka houses, but they are found at different places. I hope that's clear to you. Now, next one is temporary houses. Houses that can be moved from one place to another. A house that can be moved. Right now you are watching this video and I am asking you, just go outside, try to push or pull the building or the house. Can you do it? Well, the answer is no. You cannot push or you cannot move your house. Temporary houses, on the other hand, are such houses which actually can be moved, and such houses we call as temporary houses. And they are used, or they are the people that live in them, they do not like stay at one place, they keep moving from one place to another. So this type of house is used by the people who keep moving from one place to another. And the examples are tent, houseboat, wheel caravan. All these three examples, all these three types of houses are temporary houses. That is, they can be moved from one place to another. Well, the first one we will talk about is the wheel caravan, the houses that can be moved with wheels. This is a wheel caravan and this you can see is a wheel. Okay, so this is moved. Wheel caravan can be moved with the help of these wheels, but it needs some force which can actually pull it. It needs either a block or it needs a van. Block, we say when we use an animal to pull anything. So when we use an animal like ox to pull the wheel caravan, okay, so that time we call it block. But when we use a van, which is a vehicle, sometimes we use block to move the wheel caravan, and sometimes we can also use the van to move the wheel caravan. So wheel caravan moves with the help of wheels, which is actually pulled by block or van. This house is mostly used by the people whom we call nomads. This is something new for you. Nomads are the people who move from one place to another in search of food and water. That is, they cannot get enough food and water at the single place. By staying at the single place, they cannot get food and water for the rest of their lives. For that reason, they have to keep moving from one place to another so they can survive. And what they do is they have these wheel caravans which they take with themselves, which they carry with themselves wherever they go. So this is their house. Next one is tent. Houses made of cloth. They are mostly used by mountaineers or campers. They can be easily folded. A tent is also an example of temporary house, that is, it can be moved from one place to another. It's made of cloth. As you know, the tent is something that is fixed in a ground, right? And we can remove it, we can fold it, and we can carry it along with ourselves. Wherever we go, we can take it. So this is a type of temporary house used by the people. But mostly the people who use this tent are the ones whom we call mountaineers or campers. Mountaineers are the one who climb mountains, and the campers are the one who go on camping. That is, they go on holidays to some places which are far away from the city, and during the daytime they just keep on moving around, but at the night they used to stay in these tents. So campers are the one who go on camping, and mountaineers are the one who climb mountains. And these two types of people these they use the tent as their house. It's mostly used by these people. Why can they use it? Because this is something they can fix it. When they have to remove it, they can also remove it. They can fold it, take it along with themselves wherever they go, which makes it an example of a temporary house. Last one is the houseboat. Houses that float on water. The houses that float on water, we name them as houseboats, and for that reason they are also called as floating houses. You might have visited Srinagar so many times, and also you might have visited Dal Lake. This is where you can actually see the houseboat. They keep on floating on the water. Their position can be actually changed. If you want to change the position of a houseboat, you can, which makes it as a temporary house. And we know that so many people from different countries or different cities visit Kashmir, and they like to stay in these houseboats. Now we talk about another type of houses, which is a spatial house. The spatial houses are made according to their location. So they are made according to the place. If they are supposed to be built on a plain area, they will be made accordingly. If they are supposed to be made on a slopy area, they will be made accordingly. If they are supposed to be made on a in a place where there is high temperature or low temperature, they will be made accordingly. So the examples of it are igloo, stilt house, and houses with slanting roofs. First, we will discuss stilt house. Houses made on wooden poles. These houses are higher from the ground. These are made in the areas where there is heavy rainfall and chances of floods are very high. The people who live in such houses enter with the help of ladder. So the stilt house is that house which is built on wooden poles. Right now you can see this picture. This is ground, okay? Here this is ground. Then these wooden poles have been fixed in the ground, and then the house has been built on these wooden poles. So the stilt house is actually built on wooden poles and not on the ground. The wooden poles are fixed in the ground, and on those wooden poles is made or built the stilt house. They are built so just to avoid floods. The area which is prone to floods, in that area such type of houses are built. And why are this done so? Just to avoid any destruction that the floods can cause. So to avoid the destruction from the floods, the stilt houses are made which are higher from the ground. As you can see in the picture, they are higher from the ground. Since they are higher from the ground, question arises that how do people living in them come out or go inside the house? If they have to come out or if they have to go inside, how can they go? Well, they go with the help of a ladder. And this ladder is used during the daytime. They can come out, whoever has to come out, they can come out. Whoever ever has to go inside, they can go inside. But during the night time, the ladder is removed. Well, can you answer that? Why is it so? Well, it's done so just to avoid any sort of danger from the animals or even from the thieves. So, for that reason, the ladder is removed at night, but during the daytime, it's kept as such. Next one is igloo, houses made of snow. So the houses which are made of snow, we name them as igloo. And it's made in the regions which we call as polar regions, where the snow remains throughout the year. The snow remains for the 12 months of the year. Now you will tell me that here also snowfall occurs, so we are going to build an igloo. Well, that's impossible. Why is it so? Because here for some months the temperature increases and that will melt that snow, so we cannot have an igloo throughout a year here. Okay, so for that reason we cannot build an igloo here. So, an igloo is built at that place where the temperature is very low, where the temperature remains low throughout the year, where there is snow throughout the year. And there, the people living, they make the houses which we name as igloo. The thing with igloo is that their doors are very small and also their rooftop is round. And the last one is houses with slanting roof. It's built at the places which receives heavy snowfall and rainfall. Slanting roofs allow the snow and rain to fall down easily. So there are such types of houses which have slopy roof. Okay, and why is it done so? The slanting house is made in such areas where it receives heavy snowfall or rainfall. So whenever there is rainfall or snowfall, it when it falls on the roof, it comes down easily. It does not remain as such on the roof, but it comes down easily, which avoids any sort of damage to the house or to the roof. So such houses with the slopy roof, we call it as slanting roofs. I hope that's very clear to you. And according to that, what we studied today, there are two worksheets. The first worksheet, there are given the different types of houses and also the names of the houses. All you have to do is that you have to match the name with the house with the correct name. And in the second worksheet, you have given the houses and also the material. What you have to do is you have to tell which material is required to build the particular house, and this is something supposed to be done by the students themselves. I hope you really enjoyed it. Thank you and have a very nice day.